12 months ago, I took 3 root cuttings from this interesting split trunk hawthorn, courtesy of TonysBonsai. I've taken root cuttings before and I've had dismal success, but thankfully Timothy Vanheerden responded to my failed attempt with Chinese elm, and he gave us some great advice. So, taking that advice 1 year ago, I decided to find out if I could make it work. You want to find out the results and enjoy the journey with me? Then keep watching. And just because the video is quite long, that doesn't necessarily mean it was a success. This is the Bonsai Retreat, after all. Hi, it's Xavier. Welcome to my Bonsai Retreat. And well, you'll have already known from an episode a couple of weeks ago that we were going to be talking about root cuttings. In fact, you're going to get to see what I can achieve in 12 months with a root cutting that I took 12 months ago when I was doing repots. But what did I do first of all? Well, let's be honest, root cuttings, well, for me, they haven't actually been the most successful. So, how do we do it? We need a tree that we've just about to repot. We need to be looking at it and thinking, are there any roots on here that I don't want? And under here, there is. So I'm going to cut it off. And that is what I cut off. Careful not to poke my eyes out with those shears. It's got a lovely fine set of roots on it, but it is in fact a root itself. So what do? Absolutely easy. Follow me. Well, not literally. We make sure we've got a plastic pot, just with a bit of potting soil, and it is just general garden compost potting mix for me. We have a look at the root system on that. We don't want all the stuff at the bottom there, but we'll keep the rest of that. In terms of the top, I'll probably seal that. All we do, bury that in deep. All we want to do, I've found, is we make sure the top doesn't dry out. And really, that is all you've got to do. I normally, if I do root cuttings, I do 5 or 6 of them. And in fact, you can do some pretty big ones. In fact, shall I show you just how big? This is a root cutting that I took off a dig tree, which is an English elm, which I did in 2022. And all of this was the roots. And you can see how far out of the ground it was. And now we've got all these broom style shoots coming out, and I think it's going to be a pretty spectacular tree. Although it's a bit on a slant, I could just let one grow, but that's to say that why waste the roots? But I hear some of you saying, yeah, Zav, every year you do cuttings, every year you talk about root cuttings, and you know what, we're never quite sure that you're actually succeeding with any of these. I don't know why I'm bending close to you. It's not like you're any nearer me now. I'm going to water this, then I'm literally just going to put it into one of my nursery beds and just sit it there with all my other cuttings and stuff and leave it for a year. And to prove to you that I'm credible and worth watching, we're going to have a look and see just how they look 12 months further on. Because as I said earlier, I did the same thing this time last year. So, do you want to see what I managed to get from my root cuttings last year? In fact, before I spoil the surprise and show you my my tub of magic, my pot of joy, let's go back over the last few months and just see how these root cuttings did indeed develop over the last year. I'm going to try a root cutting with this one. Maybe try that as another root cutting. And just thought I'd give you an update. It's the 23rd of March, and already these hawthorn root cuttings, we've got a little bud there. I think we've got something coming out just there. And it's now the 5th of April, and can you believe this? This one on the right hand side here, that's actually coming from this point. But on the other side, the two there, they're actually coming from the ground, so what's below ground, although certainly on this one at the back here, it does appear to be a little shoot coming as well. Now we're the 17th of May, so I think it's been at least 4 weeks since I've done any sort of updates on the Hawthorn root cuttings, and as you know, so far I've had absolutely no success with that. Well, we had some good results which we saw earlier. We'll look at them now. These are doing very, very well. There's one there. Second one, smaller, but definitely got stuff happening there. And the third one, looking brilliant as well. So, really, really happy with the Hawthorn. So, here they are, and I'll tell you what, don't they look great? In fact, let's get close so you can see what I mean. I mean, ignoring the trident maple cuttings which are doing well, look, here we've got a lot of strong growth. They actually look like they could make decent bonsai. So, I'll be working on these. There's a third one here. And that's definitely a big thumbs up for root cuttings on your hawthorns, so never ever waste those. And in fact, it isn't just the hawthorns that have done well as root cuttings. I think you saw this in a Bonsai for Breakfast episode. But we've got this English elm, which was a Yamadori dig tree, and that's the root from it. And look at that, that is going to be an absolutely incredible slanting broom, I think, if one exists. Well, here we are. We're on the 16th, 17th of November, and we've had an early snow. There they are. There's the Hawthorn root cuttings. Hopefully, they're strong enough to last through that. So, should we look at them now? Because right now, those buds are starting to pop. Ideal time to get them out of the old soil and get them into some new, good, decent training soil. Training soil? Is that like trainers? I don't know. Training soil. Just bonsai soil. We've got this one. Don't know if you can see, loads of roots on the bottom. Got this one too. Have I got another one? And I have indeed. Got this one here. So we've got 3 very successful Hawthorn root cuttings. Let's go to the bench and have a proper look, and then take these a step further, get them out of this soil, and I don't know, maybe we'll put them into a 3-tree Hawthorn root cutting spinny. Is 3 trees enough for a spinny? You tell me. There they all are. That one's got a load of roots on the bottom, and the buds are just starting to open up, as you've seen. So I'm going to pull them out of there and have a look and see, probably just transfer them into something bigger and better. And maybe just remove a few of these suckers and stuff. Definitely, I think there's nothing there that stands out for me as an individual tree, so I think we'll put them together as a little clump or spinny. So, shall we see what these roots have developed? Again, that soil I'll be able to use again, dry it out, keep it in a stack, in a pile, where I can make sure all the nasties have been baked out of it over the summer. So look at that, that's quite healthy. Really like what's there. Good tangle of roots actually. So I'd have a choice. I could actually go for this one up here. I've got these here. I think though, I might actually take advantage of that. Keep one of those on. Perhaps get rid of that. So let's get that in first. Do I need to chop any of that? Could probably just chop a little bit. As I say, it's very healthy, so let's just get rid of stuff we're not. I don't think we're going to want that down there, but in fact, no, we're not. Not sure whether I'll keep that or not. I don't think I will. Okay, there we go. Now the thing to remember is that even though we're still in late winter, these things can still dry out very quickly, so make sure you keep them misted down or keep them somewhere damp. That's what I'm going to do. One of the fun things about mucking about with your own cuttings or root cuttings or your own seeds or plants, if you've got enough of them, then you can have a bit of fun. Well, I've got this one off there and these two here, and I thought, well, can I put them together in a spinny? And I couldn't get it to work, so that's a standalone one. But what I've done here is I've actually tied the bases together with a bit of wire down here. That hopefully over the years will encourage a spread of roots to actually spread in a radial root higher up, and just create, I don't know, an interesting twin trunk from it. And I'll just shove this third one together. So let me find a pot and we'll get in close and see what I've done. Okay, well, I've just got this little circular mica pot, put some soil in it. Obviously this is the main one, and this could end up being a tree in its own right, depending on how it works out. A little bit of soil down on it. Clearly there's not enough roots there to actually tie it down properly, so I'm not that bothered by that. Needs to be good old-fashioned rock will do the job nicely. And as I say, I'm actually recycling the soil that they've been in for the last year. So we'll put that there. The good thing about it being a circle is I don't have to pick a front. So now all I need to work out is how to put this one in there so it looks vaguely interesting. Wondering whether I want that to be on just a bit more of an angle actually. You know what? I am just literally going to thrust this one randomly into the pot like this. Aim right now is that eventually all those roots will mat together. So there you go. What do you think? Interesting little clump there. I think with those, if the fusion works, which I know it's going to because I watch a lot of Kenneth de Bond's videos. That's where I learn all about fusion. If you want to know more about fusion, link in the description. You'll see more of those great fusion videos from Kenneth. But I'm going to let that go. How many have we got? We technically got 1, 2, 3, 4. Shall we just put in a couple of cuttings there around it? There we go. Who knows? And honestly, cost me nothing. I got material off of another tree that I was repotting, and yeah, a year they had to sit in the corner. But look at that. I think in another couple of weeks when you look at these, they're going to be blooming out, and well, they're going to be blooming marvellous. So don't ever forget your roots. And I know for a fact Chinese elm, maples, obviously hawthorn. I'd imagine that you could try it with most stuff. Don't know about your pines, but if this isn't a great argument for making sure you look after your roots once you've cut them off, then I don't know what is. I'm really happy with that. So here we are now. It's the 29th of March, 3.5 weeks later, and I've removed most of the rocks. The birds have left this alone, and look at all this wonderful flush of growth, which I knew we'd get. I've got plans for what I'm going to do with this in the future, but right now I'm going to enjoy the fact that it's doing well, and even the little cuttings which I poked in the bottom there, well, they've certainly got some budding coming out. I have every confidence that they will continue to thrive, and I may well end up having a very nice little clumpy copse form there. Key, let it thrive, feed it, let those roots knit together, and let it enjoy the sunshine and that wonderful pot it's been put in. Root cuttings, success, brilliant. Thanks very much, Timothy. Your advice was spot on, and I would urge everyone else to follow that exact same advice. But you know what? We talked about Tony's split trunk hawthorn, and for the astute of you, you'll have noticed there was wire on it, and that wire's been on for a while. So before we go, shall I quickly show you what I'm going to do with it? Well, here it is, and certainly it's a year on. I think last year you might have seen me put some wire on it. I wanted to start getting some initial shape in these branches, and I remember, I look back in the video, a lot of you were really upset that I removed so much growth. And for those of you who are confused, check the description because there'll be more about what's the history of this particular TonysBonsai hawthorn. Anyway, I'm loving the bark, I'm loving the way that split trunk effect is healing, but now I've got to be very, very aware but this wire's been on for quite a while. So I'm going to take it off, and I'm probably going to raise some more eyebrows because, well, where's the front? I was thinking of the front somewhere around here. Maybe it's a lovely interesting root. We've got this and that. I like that. This is going to come out this way, but technically I would suggest that I really don't need much growth beyond there. So we just want to gently remove that wire. I could probably leave it another 4 or 5 weeks, but I want to cut it back anyway. So let's reduce any chance of me forgetting and ensuring I don't get any wire scars on this lower section, which is the point that's most important. And in fact, this is going to be the area that's most vulnerable to wire scarring. So let's see if we've got any signs of it yet. And looking in there closely, there's just the hint of discoloration, and that's enough to tell me that would start scarring if I didn't get hold of it. So I'm going to remove the rest of this. So I'm going to remove the rest of this wire and then a couple of chops, and I think we're done for today. Okay, now the main thing there is you can clearly see it's held the curve that I want up to the point around here where I'm going to have buds, or here, they're going to give me some initial branching to go out from. So straight away we can remove that, and yes, I'm going to dump that into a bit of soil and we'll have yet another cutting. Well, it's got a lovely bend in it already. All I'll do is remove all the thorns and bits like that, and then curve there and there. Probably, in fact, I'll get 2 cuttings out of this. So there we go, one without wire, one with wire. Put that in water for now. So we've got that, and that's going to be the next new growth which I want to come out. And then this back branch, really I don't want these ones, so I'm just going to cut to, probably I could cut to just these, but I think I'll cut to there for now. I could do a cutting, but a bit short for me. And then we just have a look and see what's up here. Got a little bud that's here, a couple of buds close in there. I'm looking at a front somewhere around here with branches coming out here. Get rid of that thorn there. Happy with those there. Probably don't want that one going up, but I'm going to leave it for now. Got a little bud in there, we'll get rid of that. Probably don't want the one that's coming inwards, so we'll get rid of that. There's one here that's going to go down. I don't want that. May well want that. Got those. And really, I don't want too much going upwards. I want the growth coming this way, so I'm going to cut it right back to there and cut that right back to there. And there's a front potentially in there, but sticking with my original idea, putting it there. One thing left to do. As I said, I want to feed it heavily. I stick by my original thoughts. Tony started it, he did the experiment, the trunk is knitting together beautifully, fantastic, it's going to look so unique as it gets older. But I'm building my new branches, definitely like this one. Time will tell whether I stick with this one. I may well look elsewhere, but that's okay. So that's the hawthorn from last year's root pruning. I then planted the roots. We've got a lovely bonsai clump copse or whatever on the way as a result of that. We've now got 2 more cuttings which I've taken off this. They'll get replanted. So from Tony's Bonsai, I will have a continuing generation of hawthorn. I won't need to go looking elsewhere. That's the great thing about doing this hobby. Once you get started, it doesn't need to cost you loads. So I think that's a pretty thumbs up for the method put forward by Timothy. Bottom line is, take that root, same way you would a cutting, plonk it some soil, and leave it. Do you know what? If it doesn't work, what have you lost? Nothing. If it works though, potentially you've got another bonsai in the pipeline that one day you're going to be able to look at, love, and enjoy with a glass of wine, or whatever your favourite beverage is. Now, this root cutting, rather large one from my English elm, not a lot I can do with this. All I'll probably do is I'm going to remove a few of the extra unwanted shoots and let the remaining 4, 5 or 6 grow out to create this clump. It's going to take a long time. In truth, I probably would be better off putting this back into a growing bed so we can get some real shoot growth. We're going into a different subject, and if you want to know about that subject, growing beds and how effective they are, then make sure you've subscribed, hit bell notifications, all that lovely stuff, big thumbs up, all that, and you're going to see it. There's loads of information in my bonsai retreat, and some of it's pretty good. Anyway, if you want to get caught up on Tony's Hawthorn Bonsai, that's the video you need to watch. Otherwise, enjoy the sun, happy bonsai, and God bless. Cheers.